Welcome to the most dynamic show in mortgage, banking, and real estate sales. In this business, you need to get things done and dominate. You need energy. Get ready for your dose of Big Skip energy. Everyone, welcome to the Big Skip Energy Podcast. I am so glad to see everyone here today. As y'all know, this is the series conclusion. Big Skip Energy Podcast will be over as of the end of this episode. And guys, I can't begin to thank everyone enough for their support, their listening, their viewing. And I really just wanted to do an episode just to show gratitude. I mean, I'm going to share a couple of really cool things here at the end, but I also really wanted to express how honored I am that everyone took time out of their busy days to listen to this show. When I first started this show out, I didn't really know where I was going to go with it. And I knew I had an idea. I wanted to create a sales podcast, a sales show that would help whoever listened do something better, a new skill, a new concept, help them grow. And, with my background being in mortgage, real estate, banking, that kind of thing, I wanted to have that kind of twist to it, right? And so I walked that fine line. I think I did it pretty well. And I hope y'all agree with me. Had some of the biggest names in sales training on the show, as well as some of the biggest people in the mortgage industry on the show. And it was as much to my benefit as it was to y'all's. I can promise you that. I learned so much by doing this show, and it has been so much fun. The biggest thing people say, well, Skip, why are you stopping? Well, I think it was time, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that later. But it's something where I wasn't done with it. I think there's still work to be done, but we're gonna change it up a little bit. But going back to the beginning, a lot of people ask me, like, "Gosh, Skip, how'd you even get started?" And the answer is, I just did it. Okay, I've never really shared this with anyone, but for those of y'all out there that listen to the show, I really got inspired to do this show from three people. Jim Blunt, who's the owner of Sales Gravy, a world-renowned sales trainer, and a couple of people, Gina Tremarco Clowder now, she got married, and Susanna Gray. They are dear friends of mine, and they had a very successful show. They were great. They're great salespeople, and they really inspired me to basically just go do it, right? I had to figure a lot of things out, spent a lot of time researching that kind of thing, and I had to take a leap of faith. And that's one thing I really want to impart to everybody is the fact that if you're thinking about doing something, don't let the paralysis of perfection hold you up, all right? Take that leap of faith and just acknowledge and appreciate the fact that you're going to learn some stuff along the way. You're going to have to change and pivot, and it's going to evolve. But guys, please, if you learn nothing else from this episode today, learn that taking that leap of faith is almost always going to show you some sort of reward. All right. Another thing I get asked a lot of times is, how do you find your guests? Well, I've been fortunate enough to be in my industry for over 20 years, like 22 something years now. And it's one of those things where I know a lot of people, but a lot of folks I've had on the show, I didn't know. And again, you just ask. And I think that's a great piece of sales advice to leave y'all with on this last episode is, you know what? You're never going to get the sale if you don't ask. So a lot of them I'd simply call, email, send a message on social media to, and see where it went. Sometimes I got yes, sometimes I got no, sometimes I got nothing, right? But I would have gotten nowhere if I hadn't tried. So that's something else. And one of the other things is I really want to thank a couple of people in particular today as we wrap up. Nine Fiedler, who has been my producer for probably half my show's existence. I did most of it at the very beginning, and Nine took over and did a lot of it for me after that. And I really appreciate his work and dedication to the show. I'd like to also thank Kayla Callender, who's a friend of mine. She was my part-time co-host. She was there for several episodes. As she likes to point out, several of my highest rated episodes. She was on there. But I also truly appreciate her friendship and her support, and also her taking time out to co-host the show. I mean, that's a large commitment, and I really appreciate that time that we got to spend together. And finally, I'd also like to really thank my wife, Catherine, who through the entire show has helped me create promo materials, has helped me create social media postings, that kind of stuff. I could not have gotten the word out as effectively without her help. So I really appreciate that too. Love you. So as we kind of draw to a close, I wanted just to take a couple of minutes just to run through some of these shows, right? I mean, we had over 80 episodes. There's no way I could possibly talk about every single one. And so I just want to hit a couple of highlights, y'all, just things that pop in my mind like that. And please, if a particular episode is not mentioned, that is not a slight towards anybody. It's just we simply don't have the time, and I'm shooting off the cuff here. So it's whatever pops in my head. So very first episode, my pilot, my good friend Steve Barsby was gracious enough to come on, share some of his recruiting tips and talk about culture and the importance of that. And hey, he took that leap of faith and came on my show first. So I appreciate that. My second and third episodes were the top producing women in the mortgage world. And those two episodes remain two of my top 5 most downloaded episodes. And so thank you to those women that came on there to share their story. If you have not checked those episodes out, definitely do it, because what they talk about then is as timely then as it is now. Also, my good friend David Rust, who came on the show, he was actually my coach. I shared that on the show years and years ago. He came on talking about difficult conversations. Tremendous episode. Y'all really, if you haven't heard it already, check it out. Also, my friend Steve Richmond, he's my 3P, right? He has come on the show 3 times. It's been a phenomenal episode every time. I can't thank him enough. Larry Levine, one of the stalwarts in sales training, and he was generous enough to come on the show and share his insights. Also, another friend of mine, Lee Sauls, another amazing sales trainer, man. Just another guy that I hope to turn into that caliber one day. Was generous enough to come on the show. And guys, as a side note, he's also got a new book coming out. He's got some tremendous books already out, but on September 30th, he's got the first meeting differentiator coming out. And everything in the sales world is focused on how to get that first meeting. Very little is actually out there about what the hell are you supposed to do with that first meeting to make it a success, right? Well, he's taken that and run with it, and he's produced a phenomenal book on it. So y'all check that out on September 30th. Bill Bodner, he's an industry colleague, came on the show multiple times. I tremendously appreciate it. Ashley Arbanek with the Mortgage Bankers Association, also came on multiple times. Always great information, always good stuff to share. Very generous with her time as well. And, there's so many more are coming to mind. But, Laura Whitty, I would be remiss if I didn't bring her up, because she was also recently kind of a de facto co-host, if you will, because she helped connect me with several of the people I had on the shows that she was a part of, and couldn't have had those guests without that connection. So Laura, thank you so much for all that you do. You are one of the top producing women in mortgage in the country, and you found time to help me out and come on the show and share your network, your connections, and your wisdom with everybody. So thank you so much. Again, it's just so many to highlight. All right. Over 80 episodes, like I said. I can't remember off the top of my head the number of countries, something ridiculous, like 18 countries. I can't remember. I think I put a post out there about it a few months ago, but just thousands and thousands of downloads, so it's just, it's overwhelming to me, the response that I got. So as y'all know, I like to have something that you can take with you, right? And kind of along the lines of this last episode, I want to share with you something that I typically do during my education portion of my Outpace workshop. Now, for those of y'all that don't know what that is, Outpace is an acronym I developed to identify 7 critical skills that help salespeople dominate their day. These are essential, critical skills. So Outpace stands for organization, understanding, time management, positivity, active listening, controlling your emotions, and education. All right. And one of the things that I do during the education portion of that workshop is I pose a question to the attendees. I say, guys, when is the last time you did something for the first time? Now, inevitably, I get several like blank stares. I can hear some wheels turning, trying to figure out what the hell I think, this guy just said. But, it's essentially, what did you do something for the first time most recently? Right. And I bring that up because if I hadn't said, you know what, I need to crave something new, I need to get out there and try something, then this show would have never existed, right? So ask yourselves that question. When's the last time you did something for the first time? It doesn't have to be anything, it doesn't have to be anything groundbreaking, doesn't have to be something of significant impact. It can be something as simple as trying out a new restaurant, right? Or using a piece of equipment at the gym that you've never used before. Yeah, that's right. I'm going that granular with this because if we can try new things on a smaller scale, then we're much more likely and much more comfortable doing things like that on a larger scale, right? So that is a huge part of growth and who we are as salespeople and just people. So last time you did something for the first time, take that with you today. Take that with you. A couple of different things here. Cairo Sales Group. Most of y'all know that's my sales and business development training company. I have been so fortunate these last 9 months to have been doing this full time now. As most of y'all know, I've done it part time for a few years, and I would be remiss if I didn't have a shameless plug for myself in here, right? So guys, out there in the mortgage, banking, real estate space, if you need help becoming the best salesperson that you can be, if you want to close more, do more, or be more, talk to me. Let me help you get there. All right. I don't have all the answers, but I'm going to damn sure be sure that we get you there and get you to where you need to be. All right. Also, 2 p.m. Sales Espresso Shot webinar series. It's going to be ongoing. 2 p.m. every Thursday. It's going to be a 15-minute or less segment where I share one actionable piece of sales knowledge or wisdom that you can end that webinar with and start implementing it immediately. Okay. So that's another huge one. And guys, if I had a drum roll, this is not going to be the end of my podcast career. All right. Starting in September, October of this year, I am rolling out a brand new show. All right. I am very excited about this, and it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to be changing up the format a little bit. All right. So we're going to take it from general sales with a mortgage real estate banking twist. We're going to take it and we're going to do a true mortgage and real estate show. It's going to talk about all things mortgage and real estate, focused on sales and business development, but we're going to have a lot of commentary. We're going to have a lot of hot topics discussion. I will still have lots of folks on to interview and learn from on there. And we're also going to be focusing on creating a larger online presence for more in-depth discussion offline, off the show, and more to come about all of this. And I am really excited about it. So I hope you guys will be too. More to come. Like I said, we'll be putting lots of promos out and that kind of thing. But guys, listen, remember, energy is contagious. All right. So be sure to use your Big Skip energy to help you dominate the day. Thanks.